Hey guys, how's it going? It's Saturday afternoon. Did a little bit of yard selling today, so I figured I'd take a minute and for the people who like to see this kind of stuff, I'll show you what I got. I'm going to regroup, I'm going to organize some of this stuff, and we'll do show and tell. Alright, a little bit more organized. I guess I'll go from right to left. One thing was just some cheap screwdrivers, but they are, I want to say, gotta be at least 30 inches long. A regular Phillips, and I'm not quite sure what we have on that last one there. Torque fit. So I think he was saying it was for GM, for tuning GM, maybe distributor adjusting or something along those lines, but I guess the distributor's kind of far away. But I'll throw those in the hoard just for that one time where you need that little extra leverage. We'll have it. Then up top we have some bicycle stuff. It's actually at the first yard sale I went to. One was an old set of Sturmey Archer cable set, and then in the bag is all the little ends on them. So if you're putting an old type of bike back together, it's the right period for that, and they're new in the box from a bike store. Then you had a couple of seats. This one kind of reminds this MX4 on it. It kind of reminds me a bit of possibly the Huffy MX bikes back in the 80s. He bought out an old bike store, is where all his stuff came from. Bike store and some other stuff I think they sold too. And along with that was this seat. And this one looks more mopedy type of style. Not quite sure again what it would have been on, but also new in the package. And with that, at the same yard sale was another GPS. So that and that was 23 bucks. The actually the next video you're probably going to be seeing, there is it's going to be a really good video, maybe Tuesday, that needs one of these. I'll leave it at that, but Tuesday should be a really good video. It's about an hour long. So they have, one of them already has a home, and the other one's going to go into the stash. And then we'll get into another yard sale I stopped at. He had a whole bunch of cleaned out his father-in-law's shop, and you know, it was a regular repair shop. In the back was a bunch of old style headlights. I grabbed all the 6014s I could find, because all the stuff that I have as far as antique cars runs the round headlight with the high beam, low beam in them all in one. So these are all a bunch of just new old stock. It looks like, I would say from the 80s, judging by the fact that there's a Pinto on the cover of those. So the 6 of those, that was $5 for the box, and that was $5. They both came from the same yard sale. Then there was a sign up for a tool sale, and although I didn't buy any tools from there, I bought this cabinet. This cabinet looks awesome. I use one of these in a larger version for my actual toolbox, and they are built like a tank. They're meant to handle a bunch of weight. Let's see what the name of that one is. Made in USA. Looks like a 70s type of cabinet. They usually have heavy duty rollers on them and are meant to handle a lot of weight, and apparently it was used for machine shop parts. And you know what's going to be used for me? Same thing. I have a I'm going to add on to the back of the garage, and I want to put the lathe and the Bridgeport and some other machining type tools back in that area, get them out of the main garage. And I do not, right now I just have like plastic boxes with dividers in them for all the different hardware. So I figure this should do us just fine. I'll set this thing up. And it's got a bonus pack, a couple of drivers, and what are those? Dental tool looking setup. Little reamers or grinders. And they're asking 25 bucks for that box. I grabbed it for 20 bucks. You can't buy a toolbox for near that. Plus what's like nice about them too is they're very deep. That's probably, again, I'd say 30 inches deep cabinet, where a lot of toolboxes you get are about maybe about half of that, or 2/3 at the most. So there's a lot of storage to go with that. And that also came with a stand that's in the back of the truck. I may or may not use that, but again, until I get the addition on into the back, I'm just going to go put this in storage, but that's the plan for moving forward with that. And last but not least is we have this guy, which was also at the very first yard sale I went to. It's a girl's Columbia, and she's definitely seen better days. And girls' bikes really aren't worth that much. They're, you know, a boy's bike is probably worth 4 times the amount that a girl's bike is worth. But it had a really cool Springer front end on it. So I grabbed it for that and for the rims. The seat is decent. It's a girl seat. Girl seats are generally shorter. And this area on a boy's bike comes out probably about that much further. There's a joke there somewhere. But anyway, the front end is kind of what I went for. It's got a neat looking setup and it's complete. And we'll probably use that on another bike. For those who don't know, I like making custom bikes, engine powered bikes out of antique bicycle parts and then antique old engines and combine the two of them together. There's a bunch of playlists on my channel showing different ones. So the bike was 40 bucks and I was happy to get that too because that front fork is definitely worth that alone. It's got a nice different looking setup to it. So that's it, guys. Just a quickie. I figured just get a little show and tell and see what we found. You didn't get anything gas powered today, but that's okay. We got a good stash of that stuff for future builds. So on that note, I think we're just going to go sign off, and I'll see you on Tuesday on that 1 hour long video. Until then, later. And just to show you an example of that cabinet that I was talking about, this is a larger version of that same style of a commercial hardware cabinet or parts storage cabinet. These things are built like a tank. You can load the drawers up really heavy. They're very deep. You get a lot of material in them, and they really just kind of operate like butter. Much better than the, you know, generic toolboxes that you get, and you can see the size difference in the depth of that cabinet compared to these. Much better.